maybe I can help somebody that has the same problem, but you don't even know it. I've been sleeping with a fan as long as I can remember. And fans, they have electric current as the fan motor spins. And the reason why I sleep with a fan is to drown out the noise of just the silence of the pressure of your ears and the ringing sound. I don't know if that's the case up there, where like if you live up higher, if because you're not compressed down here like in this anthill, and maybe there's places on the planet that you don't hear that loud silence. So I've slept with a fan as long as I can remember, but recently I started to focus in on it's like a slight rumble, a slight, if the fan blade is, because at times at night I would hear like this rumbling sound. It would just sound like there's like some kind of car driving by or something. And then I would go turn the fan off and I wouldn't hear anything. Like, oh, that's just the fan making that noise. Different fans have different sounds and different frequencies. So the fans that I would have, me and my wife have one on each side of the bed. And it would be the kind that is on a post, the bottom piece that stands up tall, like 4 foot tall. So the two fans we had, I realized that they're actually rattling. Like the blade itself is, if you turn it up on high, you hear it. You hear it. See, that's the thing. I started to hear it first, and then I started to feel the slight vibration. Then I start to realize that the fan is vibrating at night. Not so much a lot, but just enough for you to feel it. And I think there's a couple different things that pertains to why I was feeling a vibration when I'm sleeping. Because the past couple weeks I started to test things. I started to sleep with the fan, with a different fan, but only on low, or the ceiling fan. And what I come to the conclusion of is even a little tiny turbo fan, it has that frequency that goes through your body as you're trying to sleep. So it's like I'm sacrificing. I don't want to sleep with the silence, so I sleep with the fan. And then I just got at a point in time when I started to realize, because it's not that easy to pinpoint. I just assumed that's just the way I feel. It's just what you don't really realize, that you're vibrating in your bed, slightly being electrocuted 8 hours a day. So I started to test it, mainly the past 2 days, and this is why I'm talking about it today, because I slept 2 nights ago. I went into the guest room to sleep, and my wife slept in the bedroom with the fan on, and the heater, even the heater, a little portable heater. Turn that on. You hear this sound, and unless you focus in on it, you won't hear it. So I went in, I turned that off, the heater part. But the little tiny fan was still on. It was on high. So I go in the other bedroom, and I'm laying down on the ground with like a mat, and I feel this vibration. And this happened the week before. I did the same thing. I'm laying in bed at night. The fans are on. And I just couldn't take it. So I got up, went in the other bedroom with the little turbo fan, and I put it by my head up on high, because I thought that it was the big fan, because I bought a brand new, like a box round fan, put it up on the viewer, slept with it on high at one night. I turned it on low. When it was on high and I'm focusing in, it's like that, and then the back of my neck's like, we have to turn this down, because I'm so used to the fan sound of drowning out noise, and it really does help you sleep more. But I feel like these fans are rattling your brains. I've come to this conclusion. So when I went into the bedroom, like a week ago, I got away from the big fan. My wife couldn't really tell, sort of, kind of. She wakes up with neck problems and feeling anxious all the time. Yeah, wow. I think I just nailed why you wake up with anxiety and your neck hurts. Because when I went into the other bedroom and I slept last week, when I first started to test this thing, I thought I got away from it, but I didn't, because I was sleeping on the floor, and the floor was still vibrating, because it's only the room over next door. I don't like sounds on phones. I turn them all down. As I remember I used to make videos, and people would text me all of a sudden when I'm making a video, or call me or whatever. So my head was rattling really bad that day, more than ever, because I wasn't really paying much attention to. I was just tired. I wanted to go to sleep. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm out of the room, because my mindset is, I know that fan's rattling there, but she's willing to sacrifice being shaken in her sleep. I'm just going to go in the other bedroom. I'm going to put the small fan on, because it's a smaller fan. You wouldn't assume that the little fan would shake you too and send electrical currents through your body and electrocute you all night long, slightly. Just enough so you can't tell, but it affects you when you wake up. I woke up. I went to work that day. The back of my head was vibrating the whole entire time. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Am I being targeted with the electromagnetic pulse, the direct energy weapon that Steve was talking about all those years ago, where you got to sleep with a tinfoil hat on your head, or a tinfoil bed, aluminum bed? Because I never experienced it. At least I didn't think I was. And then again, I seen this one video that SJD did, and he was saying something about I don't know if you call me what were you calling me, electric gin or something? and I always take these messages as something other than what you're saying, but electric is what got me. Electric. I see. I mean, I know Steve tries to call me a robot, and has people, they you know, whoever has made videos about me call me a robotoid, a transvestite, a scarlet woman, and because when I hear it, it's like, it's so ridiculous. But then I learn, oh my goodness, there's men on YouTube that literally are women. There's men, or there's women on YouTube that are literally men. There's men looking on YouTube, but they're literally women. And it has to do with sowing wheat, or sowing to tear on the women. So on them like that. Horsemen. And then I believe, I gotta look more into it, but I guess the Nephilim race, where they were actually women, and then they sowed on the manhood and along with the seed, and then they produced children with the seed of men through the man that transformed to a woman, but has the birthing mechanism inside of him. So that's the way I believe the Nephilim race has brought about the serpent seed, like the landscape in Philadelphia, the parking lot at the very top, that's the serpent seed. So because it seems so ridiculous, like, why would you, for some reason, I wasn't the first time. I think Click was trying to get people to perceive that I am the woman and my wife is the man, because you can't tell. Like, if you're watching a man and a woman together, one on top of the other or whatever, it's like, yeah, but what's going on between is the exact opposite. So, but anyway, when he was talking about the electric, and I'm vibrating in my sleep, and these fans were already, because what would happen is this, and maybe it's a couple different things with me, maybe it's just me, but because I have breathing problems too, and you know, if you're overweight slightly, or if you don't open up your lungs, that can be partially what the problem is. Because at night when I'm sleeping, I don't control my breathing, and there's times when I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and my body is, I feel like fatigue, like weak, it's like shaky, and I've just assumed, well, that's because I was dead asleep, and I wake up and it's like, no, it's actually a problem. So it may be still a combination of my breathing problem and rattling fans and electromagnetic currency that comes through the fans that is aimed in your direction. So that day, like a week ago or so, I went to work, and it took about more than half the day for that rattling to go away in the back of my neck, mainly. Because here's the problem. When I'm laying down trying to focus in, like start to realize that this is a problem, I'm thinking, well, maybe that's just my heartbeat in the back of my neck. That's what I kept trying to tell myself. Because I'll lay there, and then I'll feel my heartbeat. And then when I focus down on my legs, I'll start to feel my heartbeat down. It's like wherever you focus your brain on, you'll start to feel, because you're paying more attention. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm just feeling my blood pumping through my veins, because it feels like it's like at the bottom where I'm laying on my back, so the whole underneath of me is I'm feeling the heartbeat, blood pumping through my veins. And smoking marijuana or using the oil it only enhances that. That's what that does. It enhances everything. So then just 2 days ago, I went through the same thing where I'm laying there. A couple times I'm testing it, like I turned the fan all the way down from being on high. Like my wife's already asleep, so I go and I turn the fan down to low, and it's like this disruption, and you wake people up. And I'm laying, and I'm just like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. I got to go in the other room. So I go in the other room, lay down. This is 2 days ago, I think it was. And this time I didn't bring the fan in with me. And I even turned the ceiling fan off. So I'm laying there on the mat, and the back of my head is still rattling with nothing. So then I'm thinking, one or two things. Either I'm dying either I have some kind of radiation cancer that I'm dying soon, or I'm being targeted with this the weapon that you guys have, because also maybe that same day, maybe the day before, I was talking in the videos that the ones that are still deceived but in control behind the scenes, you don't know that the head of the serpent, which is the bosses of you, has already been crushed and healed. So, and then maybe my mouth gets me in trouble. So maybe it's what I was thinking, and I just tell you how I think. So again, the people that you'll appreciate me more when you realize what the truth actually is, that I've been trying to say it all along, and I just don't have any evidence. I can understand why you would stumble over that, because I don't have any evidence. Nobody's told me anything directly, but communicating in the way of hearing it, I'm being told everything. So I'm just trying to relay that message to those that are working underneath of them, because what else am I going to do? Act like I don't believe that? So some people can say it's stupid. Others will say it's because there's no fear. Regardless, point being is, I still told you, and I'm telling you now, but this is to help other people who may be having the same problem. And then when I hear Derek talk about he wakes up and then 2 hours later it's fatigue, and I'm experiencing the same thing, so I'll take that in consideration, that sometimes when things are being said out loud, it may not pertain to the actual person themselves, but it may be a message to you. And with this electric jinn, there may be a message that you need to get away from the electric currency that you're aiming in your face when you're sleeping. And maybe that's the reason why you have so much fatigue. And maybe that's the reason why you feel like you just don't have any energy no matter what you do. Even if you get enough sleep, it doesn't matter, because in your sleep you're rattling, you're being electrocuted. So is that direct energy weapon? Is it me dying of some kind of radiation or some kind of cancerous for all those years of rattling in my sleep? Because the fan's ever so slightly rumbling, shaking, and you misdiagnosing it as, that's just my veins. That's just the blood pumping through my veins. Yeah, but how come it's like when I turn on my side, I feel it all on my side, like this electric vibration? So it got to the point where it's literally making me sick in my head. Like disgusted that this keeps happening. So I go in the other room to sleep, and my head's still vibrating. So I move the bed to the other corner away from where my wife is sleeping in the bedroom. And then I didn't get any sleep because of it. So I went into my stepson's room where he doesn't live here anymore, all the way to the far corner. Oh no, I went downstairs that same day to go sleep in the family room where there's no furniture, all the way in the back corner. Same thing. No fan, turned the ceiling fan off, nothing. I'm still rattling. But that's because I was already like shaken. So no matter what you do, like the day that I woke up or went to work, it took 5-6 hours for that rattling to stop. So no matter what, I'm still rattling. Because I'm getting away from, moving away from the addiction of sleeping in front of a fan, and I'm going through a withdrawal. Because the fan, it's like, yeah, you'll rattle a little bit, Robin, but at least you won't hear anything, and it'll help you go to sleep. But you see, just have the fan on in front of you. Then the next day, I sleep in the furthest room away with no fan on. It was a little bit better, but it just felt like I was gasping for air more. Maybe it's because I was eating too much, and when your stomach's filled with food at night, or whenever, it's just harder to breathe. So I tested it like that. I did get, it was when my son's home and he's making noises through the wall, and you hear, because he's a night owl. Well, he works at night, third shift. So when he has days off, he's up all night. So that didn't help. But I slept somewhat, but not really. And that was yesterday when I went into work. So I felt like shit. Because when I went to work, my head was still rattling. This is just yesterday. But what I did was, I didn't put earphones in. And then throughout the day, I started to feel a little bit better. And then yesterday, or was it the day before? I'm getting lost. Yesterday, when I came home, when I did a video, I turned the heat on in the little man cave. I do my studio where the studio is where I do my videos. And because I watched that one video of John from the Best Damn Podcast, and I didn't understand why he was like what are you doing? Did you lose your heat or something? So I take these things as messages. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna turn the heater off when I'm doing the video. That way, it's gonna be a little cold in there, but that's fine. So last night, I went back into the furthest bedroom away, and I have this real tiny little fan that it's like a little one that you plug into a computer or something. It doesn't really make much noise at all. It's a little tiny bit of wind. So I had that there to test that too, but at first I wanted to lay down. Well, no, what I did before I went to bed, I laid down in my actual bed with nothing on. for about 15 minutes listening to Derek's live stream, and I didn't feel anything, so I felt good about it. Then I turned the fan on and kind of faded out, went to sleep for a little bit, but when I woke up I felt that shaking feeling a little bit. So when I went to sleep in the bed furthest away with no fan, I was laying and I was able to sleep. So then sometime in the middle of the night I turned on that little tiny fan and it didn't affect me. So the bottom line is this: I'm going to do it again, sleep in that furthest room, because my wife doesn't want to depart from the fan yet. But I have to show her again. It's just when I learn something, I try to teach somebody immediately what I've learned, what I've discovered, because these things are so slight that you don't quite get it. So if anybody out there is like, you just have this when you sleep with fans, if you're a fan sleeper, especially if you turn it on high, it's like taking Xanax, where when I learned how to completely withdraw from it and still be able to sleep, and then kick the habit where I'm no longer relying on anything to get me through the day, I'll teach anybody that'll listen. And that's how I helped my wife kick the same habit, because she was not having it. She was saying, she has anxiety. She's been diagnosed with anxiety 20 years ago. Like, I know, honey, but you gotta understand, because once you rely on the Xanax day in and day out, you are constantly going through withdrawal. You're gonna constantly have the anxiety when you're going down from it, and then you're gonna feel like you need it more, because you do, until you kick the habit. And then if you take it periodically like anything else, you're not gonna rely on it, and it's not gonna affect you. So I'm gonna have to help her get withdrawal from the fan symptom, because when I woke up the other day, the worst neck pain that I've had, that I can even remember, is because of this rattling of the fan. And it's like when I do my videos at night, I'm exposed to the heater. It's down on the ground, and I feel my legs mainly have the electric current going through it. So I'm already getting charged up before I go to sleep. So that doesn't help, because I'm already being charged up. Then laying down with the fan on, spinning on high, it's rattling slightly, but I'm just trying to pass it off as if it's the blood pumping through my veins and my heartbeat. But doing these little tests is how you figure out what's going on. So far, I'm ruling out direct energy weapon and leaning more towards, it truly is the fans that are sending this electric current through my body for years. And when you sleep with a fan every night, and this thing has been rattling you, and you have, because I feel this it's almost like a nervous feeling, but I'm not nervous in my mind, but my body is nervous. And it's just, it wasn't lining up. What the hell is going on here? And then I start to catch on to it, that this is a fan problem. This is an electric problem. And I believe that those that are in charge, you know all about it. You know that these fans all throughout America, all throughout the planet, people are sleeping with them, not knowing that it's sending this voltage through you, slightly electrocuting you 8 hours a day, which brings your energy level down, which brings you down to the, your chakras inside of you, and you got to get away from it. And then I watched a few minutes of John St. Julian over there, and he was talking about doing like getting away from going out in the woods and meditating and doing breathing exercises. And because Justin Michael asked him a question, and he was the first one that that he responded to through the comment section. And so I take these things into account when people are talking about things like that, because maybe they're trying to send you some messages. And then also yesterday I ran for a little bit to open up my lungs. So I just got to stick with, whether going to the gym or not, I got to stick with continually running. Because I've from as long as I can remember, 6 years old, walking in a park by myself in 1982, asking, God, or those little wishy things that grow up from the ground, and I heard you're supposed to take them and make a wish and then blow it out. So I said, I wish that I can stop doing this. Like catching my breath. That's when I realized those wishy things don't work. So I've always had breathing problems as long as I can remember. I'm just wondering, did the doctors take my lung out or something and give it to somebody that I don't know about? Do I have a twin somewhere, an evil twin or something somewhere? Or was I born with asthma? Because I was diagnosed with that before. I don't know. Or am I dying? I don't know. I just know that the little things that you can do to help breathe better is what I'll do. And so for the people that sleep with fans, test it to see if it's the same thing that I'm talking about. And if so, try to get away from it and test it and sleep with nothing and see if you can have more energy in a day. Because I think it's a problem, and I think the elite know about it, and I think it's something purposely done, or at least known about, to dumb you, just like how they dumb us down with everything. It's anything to keep you away from having full energy, anything to keep you away from being fully awake, anything to keep you away from feeling good and having positive energy in your life.